One of the men behind the theory, Dr. Nielsen, announced his shock finding that the future can come back to affect the present at a press conference in Geneva held next April. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
We still don't know what it means.
This is the news that 100-year-old Australian great-grandmother Ruth Frith has broken the world record for putting the shot at the World Masters Games. Let's have a look at her doing her stuff.
She's 100, did you say?
Yes. That's her putting the javelin and letting go back.
Is she doing these things against her will?
Against her knowledge.
Yeah, against her knowledge.
The category she entered was shot put, women aged 100 to 104. Anybody know how many competitors in that group?
Her.
Yes, just the one. Yes. Other competitors notably taking part in this were Denmark's Crown Prince Frederick and Shane Warne's mum.
Was this a dream?
There was a rule change that 82-year-old John Rigby fell foul of in the men's 80 to 84 years steeplechase. He lost his third-place position in the 2-kilometre run after he technically sat on a hurdle. You want to see a picture of him technically sitting on a hurdle? Of course you do.
Oh, no.
Yes, this is the news that in Sydney an 100-year-old woman has set a new world record for the shot put. According to The Independent, there were cheers when Mrs. Frith broke the record. Mind you, there are cheers every morning when she wakes up. Probably couldn't get a job on Strictly Come Dancing, though, could she? Arlene, do you want to tell us about all that? Address the nation? Yes, what went on? Why have they done that? What did they say?
I know what the newspapers said. What the newspapers said was 66. But that was the newspapers.
Yeah.
My age goes with my name from now on. There's no Arlene Phillips anymore. It's only Arlene Phillips. 66.
Yeah.
That'll change next year. It really will.
I think they felt that my time had come on the show. No one keeps him together.
How can your time have
have
come when Brucey's is still rolling on? I bet he's been in the Hadron Collider. So, Anton, then, what's he like?
Who?
Anton Dubik.
Anton!
This is a man who's never seen the show but has read about it. So he mispronounces some of the names as he's read them. Some dancers are a bit thick outside of dance, and it's true.
Very often they are not taught to think for themselves.
Right, because people are shouting 1, 2 at you all the time.
1, 2, that's it, basically.
Actually,
1, 2,
no.
1, 2. No, you're doing 2, 1. You're doing 2, 1.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
how you count a dancer in. That's why they have such trouble, sort of, in the real world, because that's all they hear. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it's like being in hot gossip here.
Have you got stockings and suspenders on?
Go on, give us a bit of warning, will you?
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
This is about new guidelines about what comedy can and can't do. You mustn't humiliate people. There's various things. You mustn't use fish-based puns. There's a whole bunch of stuff that used to be considered acceptable but no longer is.
That's right, yes. Yeah. Intimidation, humiliation, intrusion, aggression, or derogatory remarks.
Or fish-based puns.
Or fish-based
like I've got
puns.
a haddock, or something like that. Or... Would you lie on your back and fill it? You know, that sort of thing. Fish-based puns, we've grown out of them. It's not fair. It's not fair to the fish. They can't answer back.
They can't. It's soulless.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, that was rubbish, isn't it?
Once you knew the fish-based pun was taken away from you, you went, no, we want it back. And
Yes.
you cheered, soulless. That was fantastic. Did it for the halibut.
It is a bit horse and stable, this, really, isn't it? I mean, there's a whole floor at the BBC which is working out how to really lock that stable up as Jonathan Ross runs away. I mean, the whole thing's based on one incident. That was it. Someone messed up very badly. Now we have compliance directive saying don't be rude to people. I mean, some of us, you know, got a living to make.
Yes, and something else that it's going to change the so-called watershed under the new guidelines.
Oh, yes.
9 p.m. watershed signals the beginning of the transition to more adult material, but the change should not be abrupt.
So if you're going to swear, you sort of do it with a stutter. You stupid for that. It's 9:15, fat face. Is that how it works?
Yes, something like that.
Oh, my God.
We did have a clip.
But is that what they mean? Fawlty Towers, Blackadder, all those sort of
Towers,
people being rude, The Office,
Laurel and
humiliating...
Hardy. Yep.
Tom
Yeah,
and Jerry.
The Three
That's
Stooges.
really cruel.
Let's have a look at exactly the sort of thing that will be banned in the future.
Get a clean one. It's clean now. Dirty now.
There you go. Nothing funny in that.
Well, I think it's particularly poor taste to show Andrew Sachs being put down like that. The whole business.
These are the new BBC compliance guidelines that are clamping down on swearing and violence on TV. According to the guidelines, even after 9 o'clock, strong language must be clearly signposted. Well, it's 9:21, so I suppose we're... Oh, it, my watch is fast. BBC Trust issued further guidelines on what was acceptable comedy. Jokes must be proportionate to their target, said a po-faced woman of a certain age. Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week.
Yep.
Your four are Zsa Zsa Gabor, Lord Sir Alan Sugar of Clapton, Lloyd Grossman and Arlene Phillips.
Some people here have been asked to do things for the government. Alan Sugar was asked to do
Gardening.
something with enterprise,
advice on
young
enterprise,
people, you know. Lloyd Grossman, he did something for the government,
Hospital
you know.
food.
Before
Hospital
Jamie Oliver came along, he was the
Hospital
man,
food.
yeah. I've been asked to be the dance czar, dance champion for the government, so we're all linked in that way. And Zsa Zsa Gabor is pretty blonde.
No, I think the reason's even sillier than that. They're all czars except her, and she's a Zsa Zsa.
Oh.
That is exactly the answer. You don't get the point, though. Arlene got that answer. You just did a cheap Zsa Zsa joke. You don't get a point for that. Arlene got the answer right. She had the facts.
That's
she had the
fine.
knowledge.
I'm very happy with that.
Swanning at the end. I think you get a point.
It was really clever.
What does a dance czar do?
That was the name actually given to me by the newspapers, who also said I was
You're actually the dance
too
commandant.
old. No, it's a dance champion, and we go around the country encouraging people that want to dance and find them places where they can dance, make it accessible, free and easy. For people to sample dance to get their body and minds a little healthier than maybe they were before we came along.
Have you tried Brucey?
How do you mean? And Baron Sugar of Clapton in the borough of
Baron
Hackney.
Sugar, is that his name?
The Baron Sugar.
Baron Sugar.
Sounds like a
Did he buy
pantomime
that bit?
character, doesn't it? Oh, yes, he is.
Did he buy the Baron bit, or was he given it?
I'm not empowered
What
to
an
tell you that.
appalling
That's
suggestion.
awful. That lovely
Being
man.
all
mean that.
diplomatic about your own life and then suggesting someone else bought their peerage.
No, you know how people buy sort of areas and houses because they go with a title in the area in the house, and he's rich enough to do that.
Oh, I
wasn't
see.
being impolite to him.
Right.
He's rich enough to do this. He's also modest enough to say that he took the post for the need of the country. Isn't that lovely?
That's good.
We're What evidence is there to suggest that he might not be the ideal candidate to be the enterprise czar?
Amstrad computers are shit.
Well, in 2005, he famously said, next Christmas, the iPod will be dead, finished, gone, kaput.
You know when the Queen got an iPod? Apparently, someone tried to explain it to her and said, it goes with you wherever you are and it plays whatever tune you like. She said, oh, like the Grenadier Guards.
Perfect.